Off the Record is a show from 88.1 WKNC in which DJs talk with artists about everything from their music to upcoming tours to former bandmates' birthdays. Make sure to follow WKNC on SoundCloud and Tumblr so you never miss a beat. Enjoy.
Break up as much weed as possible.
I got you.
Anybody here help with the pre-roll?
I've never met anybody like you.
Okay.
I just wanna roll up and listen to you. Is that okay?
Look.
She say she never rolled with some intellect. I told her it's all science like I'm into that. Look, you hit a slope I could intercept, then I make a face like I'm innocent. But in a sense, baby, this is all me on a regular basis. No stunting, neither the set of the Matrix. Rolling blunts now, guess you got better with patience. Remember I used to buy you weed, roll you them papers. Okay, think back on it. When I was in the walls, it was raw. You had to put the sink back on it. That OC tackle needs some mink back on it. It's my chaining day, we gon' have to link back on it. It's full court pressure, I hope it's impressive. I booked a flight last night, I just want you to catch it. I guess I played the Trump card in a hopeful election. I told drugs drop the bomb and go for the exit. It's getting in the whole world. He treat you like you any old girl and say shit where you really don't hear him. You dream of spaceships, now you really gon' hear him. Mix the drugs with a really dope serum and we can roll. Rolls for the pre-roll. Take a couple shots and a reload. It feel like a Friday. Haters on Debo. In the whip sideways, all set Migos. Look, we should roll. Rolls for the pre-roll. Take a couple shots and a reload. It feel like a Friday. Haters on Debo. In the whip sideways, all set Migos. She say she never roll with a hook and who could cook with her. Guess it's probably all about the look with her. She like the text message, I can write a book with her. Blow me through the chords like you trying to make the hook bigger. Them niggas born need somebody who can book with her. And this is fine literature, borderline cinema. Sing the big screen, big screams at the end of them. And make the climax like 10 of them. The ends make the car dash like Kim and them. West on a highway like I ain't got a liquor sense. Rap about Kanye like I already sit with him. A late registration at a listening. A Carolina instrument. Riding through the borough in a different whip. She can get aggy in an increment. I'm with this shit though. The words used by my kinfolk. And fuck it if we already did smoke. We should roll. Rolls for the pre-roll. Take a couple shots and a reload. It feel like a Friday. Haters on Debo. In the whip sideways. Offset Migos. Look, we should roll. Rolls for the pre-roll. Take a couple shots and a reload. It feel like a Friday. Haters on Debo. In the whip sideways. Offset Migos. Look, we should roll.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Iron Mike, back with you on another beautiful Wednesday for Local Rap Lunch. You know how we do. We take an hour, should be more, but just an hour every Wednesday at noon to give you nothing but the illest hip hop coming out of North Carolina. I got an amazing guest in the studio with me today. OG, beat maker, the man, the guy who paves the roads for everyone out here, I feel like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got Oak City Slums in the building, man.
That's what's up, man.
Thanks for coming up, man. It's good to have you up here.
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
But yeah, so I mean, shoot, you've been up to a lot.
Yeah. Sure.
This is your first time up at my show.
No, it's my second time.
Not at my show.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like,
Sure.
I'm fanboying out right now.
Okay. Hey, man, we in here.
But nah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So been killing it on the scene out here with the beat making.
Yeah, man.
You've been like pretty much on everybody's albums. You did something for Juice's album, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, man. It's all family out here. It's all love, and not for nothing. It's teamwork. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the slogan. Teamwork, make dream work. I guess I said it.
Yeah, you just did.
But it's I don't really share my stuff with people I'm not really rocking with. You know what I'm saying? So I rock with Juice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my homie.
That's what's up.
So show him love. Throw him a track too. I don't know. I heard on the low there might be a Juice Slums EP coming out.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I ain't even hear about that. I'm his DJ. I ain't even hear about that.
Hey man, that was on some speaking over the music at the venue.
Okay. That would
shit,
be
man.
fire. That would be very
I got
fire.
like 5 joints that I'm gonna send his way.
Now, I first got introduced to you in, I think, 2014 when you were DJing for Pat Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys were working as
I
like
remember
a duo.
that Deep South, man.
Yeah.
First time I met you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
And
That was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
yeah, it was a while ago. Time
Sheesh.
flies, man.
For sure.
I had like a little infant at that time, and now she's 3 years old,
Yeah.
talking back to me.
Right.
But yeah, like so since then, like you've had, you personally, like you've worked with a lot of people, as I said, you've done a lot. Killed Hopscotch. I feel like that's like the most legendary local hopscotch set ever.
I might agree with you.
Yeah, no, seriously.
No,
like, that's
I
not
mean,
even blow-
man, I'm having fun, man. We're kind of talking off the radio. North Carolina's I think they got a lot of stigmas, but North Carolina is very innovative. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel blessed to have been raised here. You know what I mean? I come from Southern California, but I moved here when I was 11, so I'm from the South. I tell people I'm from the South. Like,
Okay.
they ask why I don't have an accent. It's because I'm from California.
Right.
But everything I know is Southern, you know what I'm saying? And so North Carolina's got a lot of magic here, man. And, so for me, I feel like that innovation, like people kind of sleep on the innovation that's happening here. They get a little stuck, in periods of time. And so I think what happened at Hopscotch was just a break in the mold, you know what I mean? That a lot of people didn't know it was already happening in the area. Like I'm not doing anything new. I'm just doing something different, you know what I'm saying? And then I've made my own little niche and notch in the local community. And so I think that's what people were excited about, and they're excited to hear something just, how your ears get bored, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just want to hear something new. So it's not like what I'm doing is like, oh man, this is the craziest thing. I've never heard this before. It's just different, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, my influences are influencing my music, and I have a wide variety of, influences. And so I think that's mainly what's happened over the years. It's just, I keep trying to just do something new, something that's even new to me. You know what I mean? So I'm not really ever trying to jump on a bandwagon or, jump, oh, this is hot right now, so I'm gonna do this, or, you know what I mean? I just don't do that. That's not my style. It's not, hey, if you're trying to make it, I'm not mad at that.
Right.
And so if you jump on a bandwagon, more power to you. I don't do that. And so Hopscotch was that, I don't want to live in the past, because I've done things, I think I've done bigger things since then and made bigger moves since then. But that was, for me, definitely like a point in recent history, at least for me, that was like a defining moment where I was like, yo, I can rock a bigger crowd than the ones I've been rocking. And that was, at that time, that was the biggest crowd I'd rocked.
Yeah.
I played in front of thousands of people before that, but they weren't feeling me. You know what I mean? Like, and it could have been my fault, could have been like the venue or the show I was on or whatever, but they weren't feeling me, and that was the first show where I felt like everybody was, connected. We were connected. I was doing my thing. I could have played Old McDonald and they would have been like, oh my God, it's crazy. And so,
yeah. And that, that's why I say, like, you paved the way for a lot of other artists out here, because for a lot of people, like, looking at it from the outside in, as for me, covering artists, doing this and writing for Indie Week and, working with artists, DJing and stuff, like, seeing you do that, I think that was also a defining moment for, like, the scene also as a whole, too.
Well, I think I've done a good job of just reaching in locally. I mean, some of my friends are international artists, and some of them are, they've worked with, your favorite rappers.
Yeah.
My friends work with those guys.
Yeah.
You name it. I have a friend that's probably produced for them, has got a track with them, but, that doesn't really pour into what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? And so I've always looked to work with people that are around me and boost the people around me. You know what I'm saying? So as far as putting people on, I don't think I was necessarily putting people on. I think we were all grinding together. That's what happened. You know what I mean? And somebody's, at the time nobody was taking leadership and nobody was going like, hey, like, let's do this. Let's move this way. You know what I'm saying? And so, my father is a natural leader, you know what I'm saying? And so some of those qualities have been passed down to me. And I think a lot of times I just get sick of watching people twiddle their thumbs.
Absolutely.
And I was like, hey, fine, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, I might fail, but I'm going to try. I'm going to at least try it, because at the end of the day, at least I can say I tried. I wasn't really good at it, but, nobody else was doing it.
I feel like you've had a love-hate relationship with that role, though.
Oh gosh,
Mostly
hate. Mostly hate. I don't like. Well, because anybody who knows me I don't like my shows to be crazy, extravagant. I like everything to be kind of like plain and streamlined. You know what I mean? From everything, my production value, all that stuff, everything I like it to, I like the art itself to speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to I don't want to even on my gram and stuff like that. I don't really want to do a bunch of over the top promotions and stuff like that. I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't want my face to, I'm not super good looking. I'm good looking, but I'm not super, super duper good looking. You know what I mean? So, no, but I'm saying, so it's like I'm not trying to put something out there that's not real. Like my music, I made that.
Right.
That's my music. You know what I mean? Like filters can make me look a certain way. The timing and money can make my gram pop. That's not real. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like there's got to be some honesty amongst all the the fake filters, all the grams,
BS.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't know, man. You know what I mean? I don't consider myself like a leader in the area. I think I try to do something different. I got homies that I would consider like real leaders in the area. Like people don't really know who they are, but they were really driving the local scene. They're putting on for people that they wouldn't have no idea they're being put on by such and such. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like the face that kind of got put in place because it wasn't popping and nobody was organized. Right. I think if I would take credit for anything, I organized what was already going on. Like none of these people, I never, I mean, there's been a couple people that come under my wing and in my studio, I've let them use my stuff. I've taught them, I've shown them how to produce things. But I say 80% of the people I'm linked up with are already doing their thing and we're already popping as far as their stuff being good and of some quality. Yeah. It was just somebody saying hey, okay, let's go do a show now. Let's start with 20 people. Let's see if we can get 20 people in a room. And that, and then it was 30. Then it was and they brought some friends. That's 100, 150. Dang, man, we got we sold out the venue. Oh, snap. Now we're playing this, the Ritz or something, and we're rocking a crowd at the Ritz. And then, the Sylvan Esso thing popped off last year. Mm-hmm. It was and I rock, you know what I mean? To me, it was man, can we do more? Can we do more? And when the wave's over, I've said it many times, when the wave's over, it's over. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to I'm having so much fun. And the moment it starts becoming fun and people don't really think my music's hot anymore. Hey, it's over. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping about it. You know what I'm saying? On to the next thing, you know what I mean? But right now it's we're riding a wave, man. And as long as the wave is still moving, man, I'm gonna keep riding it. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of going back a little bit on something you said earlier, how you're there as kind of I wouldn't call it a mentor. I wouldn't put that on you because but someone who's there to guide people. Is that one of the things that's one of the biggest things I respected about you? Because a few years ago I hit you up about crystals,
right?
And I didn't really know you that much yet, just come from a couple shows here and there, and showed you his music, and you were like, "Yo, this dude's dope."
Yeah.
And you guys built a relationship off the music. I
knew him. Yeah, I knew him before I even talked to you.
Right.
And so
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but that's in my lifestyle. Again, that's not just in music. You know what I mean? I got my little sister here with me. I got my daughter with me here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the people around me that I love and I respect. Even I mean, there's few people in my close circle, but then there's people that it's just human beings. I respect human beings. I respect everybody. So. If I have a bit of knowledge, why am I gonna keep it from you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I'm grinding, people don't understand. Any show, there was a time I was making wild money off these shows, but I wasn't keeping it. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but it was why? But the fact is, I'm gonna take care of you. Hopefully one day that'll come back to me when I need you to take care of me, and it's happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not hoarding some, the local, I guess not to be on a tangent, but the local fame thing is that's played out, man. Yeah, I'm not trying to be just famous in my area. I'm not even just trying to be famous, to be honest, but I'm trying to build a community, you know what I'm saying? That anybody can play, anybody, the talent shows.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do. So whoever's the best, I don't care who you are, your sexual orientation, none of that. I don't care. None of that matters to me.
Right.
What I'm talking about is hey, here my studio's open to you. So whatever gear I have, that means you have. Whatever opportunities I have, that means you have those same opportunities. I'm not gonna keep that for myself. I'm not putting myself onto everything.
Right.
I've passed on shows. I've passed opportunities to other people that could benefit from it. So for me, that's always been more the focus because not only that, I don't have time for everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I can build a community that's going to keep it up, you know what I mean? Because at one point it was just me and a couple other people booking, you know, shows around here. And so if I can make it where it runs itself, well, that's great. Then I'm not really worried about like, can I get on? Like somebody will
Right.
put me on.
Yeah.
Somebody, because why? It's because it's popping now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, it's slowed down a little bit. You know what I mean? But I can't take credit for that or be blamed for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's slowed down a bit. But it's like it's not dead.
No, not at all.
Because again, like that sharing mentality, I think it's like maybe it's not everybody sharing together, but at least they're sharing within the small little group of people they have or whatever. Everybody, I think I would say I set a precedence of, hey, let's put everybody on.
Absolutely,
Like anybody who's popping, let's put them on. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know, kind of on that topic about things kind of like slowing down, like just putting people on just off of talent alone. We have a lot of festivals that have kind of popped up in the past couple of years in this area. I think that's awesome for the scene. I don't see how, you know, it's definitely not a bad thing for the scene, but one of my only things about it is sometimes I feel like it causes some division in the scene, because sometimes people get booked who don't necessarily have the talent, you know, and people get looked over. There's always hurt feelings like that.
Yeah.
How do you, as someone who like is about unifying the scene, how do you see those kind of like third party factors?
I don't even care.
You know,
It's none of my business.
Yeah.
The money side, it's not my money, so I'm not spending the money. The other side of it is like I'm not the talent booker.
Yeah.
That's none of my business. Like I think if I think something's trash, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hold that opinion if I want to. But the fact is, it's not my money. It's not my show. I don't care. You put whoever you can put a billion national acts on it and no locals, and I could care less. You could put all locals, and I don't think any of them are good. Or it's all your homies. I don't care because it's not my show.
Right.
My show, I want to put the best on, whoever I deem the best. And people look at my shows, and obviously, some people have problems with my shows. I'm like, hey, when you're spending the money, you go ahead and put whoever you want on and do your thing. And you know what? They should.
Yeah.
Look,
absolutely.
You're the one with the vision, not me. I'm not Moogfest. I'm not Hopscotch. I'm not Dreamville Fest. I'm not any of these people. I'm Oak City Slums. So when Oak City Slums is doing something, I'm going to try to put my vision forth. So when these festivals put their vision forth, they think, whatever their motive is, that's their money. That is their dream. That is their vision. I have nothing to do with that, and more power to them. You know what I mean? Congratulations if it pops. If it doesn't, hey, I'm sorry. Better luck next time, right? I hope it pops.
Yeah.
Because it's good for the city. I mean, and so for me, what it really comes down to is it good for Raleigh? Are you putting Raleigh on, really?
And that's what I'm talking. I'm not saying, I'm not talking about any specific festival.
No. I think all of them are great. And those are the big ones. I mentioned it just because, like, in Dreamville, like, everybody's losing their mind.
I know.
J. Cole.
But we don't even know who's on.
Right, we don't even know. Anyways, but it's like, so hey, do your thing, man. I think it's great. I think all the festivals are great. I think all the shows are great. I think when no matter how many people show up to them, I think the shows being active and people keep it moving and keep things busy, I think that's all great. I don't have a problem with anybody, any one promoter, how they do their thing. That's their thing.
Yeah.
And it's not my responsibility when it flops.
Right.
And when it succeeds, I can't take credit for it either.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy that it's happening because it just means that there's art still going on, little pop-up shops, little parties going on in art spaces. I think all that's great, man. It just makes it easier to keep doing music, and it's going to inspire somebody to do something better. You know what I mean? So I'm with all of it. I like all of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's the most honest PC answer I have too, and it's like it's the truth, but that really is what it is. And anybody who knows me knows I'm telling the truth.
No, I don't see how anyone could be mad at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you put on one hell of a show at Moogfest. People were talking about it. I had to work in the marketplace, and like people who aren't even from this market were like, "Yeah, I went to this like unofficial late night show and it was crazy. Yeah, everyone who was like performing was there and blah, blah. I was like, oh yeah, that's my homie put that on.
Yeah, I mean, again, man, I'm just inspired by people who did it before me, man. I mean, Discovery, Blacklisted, these are parties that made me go like, yo, I want to be a part of that. I want to make a crowd move like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start producing until I was 27, and I didn't go to parties before then. So then when I started making music that was for partying, I was like, well, how does it get done? And I mean, at least in this area, I saw the best doing it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, wow, look at it. Everybody's having a great time. You know what I mean? It's just good fun, and nobody's thinking about their problems right now. I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm copying people. I put my own spin to it. That's it.
Stealing like an artist.
Yeah, for sure,
Basically.
man.
I remember one of my favorite sets of yours wasn't even like a big show. It was at Neptune's. It was like it was actually after Juice's Barn Burner.
Oh my
That
Lord!
time at yeah,
that was off the hook, right?
And it was like so off the cuff. But
Yeah, nobody was ready for it, man. And the room was stupid.
Yeah,
That was awesome. That was
a room full of strangers. Like it was
nobody
one, like,
knew who I was
in like the scene or anything like that.
Nobody knew who I was. It was great.
It was just people just having a
that.
great time, and you definitely.
And
accomplished that
again, it goes back to what I was saying. People are looking for something new. You can hear Drake any time of the day, a bazillion times. You can hear all your favorite popular raps and songs any time of the day. And then it's just one of those magical moments where you're playing something they don't know what is being played, but they're feeling it.
Right.
And it's a rare moment. And then there's times where it's the same kind of moment and people think I'm terrible. You know what I'm saying? So,
I feel that's just kind of like life of, beat maker, DJ, anything like that. You can be, sometimes it's just like that, like the cosmos is working in your favor and you've got everybody loving you. And then sometimes it's just, absolute crap.
Yeah, man.
But that's just how it is. But I mean, you said earlier that, you're not trying to be like the man in your city. And you've done a lot of different things. I know you didn't start, as you said, you didn't start with making beats and all that. You started in hardcore
Yeah,
a while ago. My manager at Guitar Center knew exactly who you were. He's like, yo, he's like a crazy ass drummer. Like,
yeah.
and he's like the whitest guy ever. So how do you get from that point to this point, and then obviously you're gonna be leveling up. So
yeah, I mean, it all started when I was I was 3 years old. I started playing drums, and then I grew up. My parents they listened to smooth jazz and funk and traditional black folk music, soul, R&B. My sisters were into house music and New World Order and Depeche Mode and all that stuff. Again, black family, but this kind of opposite side of I guess it's not even opposite of black culture. It got appropriated.
It just got exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, it's white people music. And I hate using that word appropriation, but it really is though. Cause it's one of those things. And the thing is actually, it's more shocking to black people when I tell them I make electronic music than it is to white people, which is kind of weird. It's really weird because house music is black people music. And, if you talk to the right age of black person, they know house music like you would not believe.
And right demographic. Like you talk to someone from Chicago, you talk to someone from Detroit.
Man,
yeah,
exactly.
It's not crazy.
So my and then early my older siblings are they're like 45 and 40, and they I think I got their ages wrong. I don't ever remember their ages, but so they're in the early 90s, what I'm saying? So Crystal Waters, Robin S. I was hearing that stuff, but that was I'm hearing all this stuff from my siblings and my parents. And then when I got old enough to kind of decide what I like to listen to, I had met some friends of mine here in North Carolina who are from Colorado, and they were really into punk and death metal and stuff like that. And they showed me my first tape. Nice. And I got into it, and it was like, man, I love this music. And so I got into punk and hardcore when I was like 12. And then as I, progressed in music and became a better musician and more learned musician, I got into jazz, I got into funk and stuff like that. And I started playing more stuff like that, not just harder music. And then I started doing session work at 15 and some local studios. And then as I kind of progressed as a professional drummer, drumming as a whole kind of in the drum community kind of took a left turn where they really wanted a specific kind of drummer. And so a lot of the gospel music drummers were taking up every gig. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of gig it was, they were getting every gig. And so where I'm more of a groove guy, where these other drummers were more chop guys, and they do a lot of fancy, fills and odd meter and stuff like that, where I was more just I like to be solid and give a essence rather than wow you with my chops. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
So I just work slowed up for me, where I wasn't playing as much out. I wasn't playing as much in the studio. Always playing on my own records and stuff like that, and recording and sampling myself as far as like, you know, messing around with music. But I didn't start recording music. I was, you know, until I was about 25. But then I didn't even start making beats until I was 27. But you know, all through that process of being a professional musician, I was listening to new music. I was listening to, you know, I was looking for new music. So I got really into bluegrass and folk and Americana music. I got, you know, I was already into like, you know, punk and hardcore. You know, and then having some nostalgia of house music from my older siblings and jazz and stuff like that from my parents. I was digging all this stuff. And then along the process, you know, my sisters were also into like Brand Nubian, Tribe Called Quest, you know, De La Soul and stuff like that. And so I got into hip hop really heavy in my late teens.
Okay.
So that's when I discovered Jay Dilla.
All right.
You know, and he was working with Erykah Badu and Common
and the whole neo soul movement and everything.
And he was, the whole neo soul thing. But he was also, when I was listening to his discography, I was hearing like techno. I was hearing like, you know, house music. You know, these little glimpses of it. And it when I went to go make my own music, I was kind of copying Jay Dilla, which influenced me to kind of go super left field.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of got me, you know. And then I discovered footwork, and I've discovered, you know, club music and stuff like that along the way. By no means am I either or of any of those things. Like, no, I'm not like one thing, you know what I mean? So, but all those influences have created this environment for me.
That's what, you know, it's funny you said that, because like I was telling people like I'm gonna have Slums up at local rap lunch, and they were like, Slums isn't like necessarily a rap producer. I was like, yeah, but he's not necessarily.
I definitely produce for rappers.
You know, yeah. But like that's the thing. Like no one can really put like their thumb on what you do.
I like it that way.
So,
I like it that way. Like rappers don't think I'm hip hop enough. Club artists don't think I'm club enough. I'm like, great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I like all those compliments.
It's like that old Jadakiss rhyme. Too black for MTV, not black enough for BET.
That's
Just
the
let
truth,
me be.
man. It's the truth. You know what I mean? And like, but when you go to my shows, you see every kind of person dancing my music.
Absolutely.
That's all I care about, man.
Yeah. And you doing it. So we got new music coming up from
right.
you. I mean, let's, you know.
Yeah, we're going to debut it?
Oh, we're gonna do it. We're just gonna go right in.
I don't know.
Talk about it.
We can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
We got some time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're good. All right. I don't know.
I mean, as you know, we've been talking about this. You've been super busy. You know, and you're a father.
Yeah,
I'm a father too, so I know how that's almost impossible to make music.
It's not impossible. You just have to be purposeful.
Right.
You know
exactly. So, you know, with this new album coming out, like how, like, you know, let's talk about the process. Let's get into it.
All right. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. I got my little sister here with me, Kayla.
Here.
So
you're live.
Is she on now?
You're live.
Hey.
For me, the record. All right. So I got this new record coming out. It's titled "Not Well." The record for me is maybe some type of memoir of my headspace.
Okay.
You know, and I think the songs, and when I listen to the songs, I listen back to them. I there's distinct memories of each one of them.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And I always like working with people close to me. So putting my little sister on was she's the only singing feature. I have a production feature, but she's the only like voice on the whole record.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So
okay.
I you know, obviously I do a lot of instrumental music, but you know, like it was mentioned, I do work with artists, but you know, even though I'm working with a lot of artists, I put out a single with Ace Henderson. That was like a little joint we did together.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to flex a little bit like that. I really have production skills, but also, you know, with people trying to pigeonhole me to a sound, people thought like I'm this sampling guy. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, so my last record every song on my last record had samples on it, like where it's a sample bass. I purposely made this record I'm done with now. I purposely made it with no sampling bass. Wow. Everything is played by me.
Oh wow.
Right. So
awesome.
Keys, bass lines, drums.
So you're like showing it.
Yeah, right, I'm definitely like I'm showing growth in my ability as a musician. Like I'm not a fantastic piano player. I'm not even a learned piano player. I I'd spend a lot of time like making a lot of bad mistakes, you know what I mean, and like recording and not doing something right. Now I'm like, okay, well, and I got like 10 songs of stuff I wrote,
Yeah.
you know, and played myself and produced myself, and I didn't sample from another artist or, you know what I mean, or off a record or anything like that. So, but we have the single called Sleep. I've been wanting to work with Kayla since she was like a child. Like she'd be in the studio and I'd tell her to sing on something of mine or just to kind of goof around, because that's what it usually starts with. But with this track, funny enough, this particular track, it started out when I made it with a sample.
Okay.
And then I had a homegirl of mine. I'll leave her name out of it because I don't want to embarrass her or anything like that. But she rapped on it.
Okay.
And it was fire. Okay. Like, dude, I'm talking like, yo, I'm going to send it to you one day, man.
All
so
right,
you can hear
yeah.
it. It's fire. She did it one take. It was crazy. And then she didn't like it.
Wow, really?
She didn't like it. And so I said, I don't want to change it. And so we argued about it. And I was like, look, I don't want to change it. Just give me give me the blessing to release it as is. And if I had released it as is, this would have been released 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's how old this track is, right?
Yeah, wow, yeah.
So, but the track's fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm keep begging her, like, let me release this, you know. Finally, I'm like, look, I'll pay you. Let me release this track. And she's like, I just want to re-record it. And I was like, I don't want to re-record it. It's, you know what I mean? Like if you re-record something, sometimes you lose the essence.
Right,
like,
yeah.
What makes it kind of what it is that it was like there's some little screw-ups here and there. And that's what I liked about it. You know what I'm saying? Even on my full record, there's mistakes all over the record. But it's like that's half of it is like, I don't want it to be perfect. That's not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not how, you know, playing live is even, you know what I'm saying? So I left a lot of it out. And so I wind up like sending the record to like a bunch of artists to see like what they felt about it. It's my style, so it's different. A lot of people are not used to it. So it's kind of hard matching up. So over time, you know, I went through a bunch of artists, none of them fit. And then I wound up sending it to Kayla one night, just like, hey, see if you can write to this. And then she wrote to it. And so I'll let her explain about the lyrics.
Okay. You want to explain later? You want us to just get into it?
That's up to y'all.
No, talk about it.
Talk about the lyrics, like what?
Yeah.
So, well, first of all, Rodney, I started writing at like 14 years old, and I was writing poetry. Rodney was like, he was the first one to actually like listen or actually care that I was writing, and so it was like crazy for him to ask me to write over this track, and so I was listening to it, and what do you want me to say?
I don't know. Just talk about the track. Like, what made you write it? Like, I mean, like, because like, I mean, I don't. My only requirement when I work with artists is like, don't say anything foul. You know what I mean? That my kids can't listen to.
Gotcha.
Content wise, I don't really care. So to me, I don't do the same. I don't tell them what to say or write.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just sent it to her, and then she sent me back some lyrics.
He's always encouraged me to write in a way that everybody can understand or everybody can relate to. So if you're accurately displaying an emotion, like if you're accurately expressing an emotion, it is relatable, but not everybody can relate to an exact situation. So he challenged me really, and I took on the challenge to write in a way. I wrote about a personal situation that I was going through, but I feel like it's relatable in a lot of areas, in a lot of ways it could apply to a lot of situations. And so he's challenging me to do that with my writing, and he's always been the type of person to have goals and achieve them, and that's inspiring to me. And he's like always encouraged me in different areas of my writing and to improve. And so I'm super grateful for this opportunity.
Awesome. That's some real big bro stuff right there.
Yeah.
When she when she sent me the lyrics, actually, I was like, wow, these are really good. And then like immediately when she sent me the lyrics, I personalized the lyrics, and I was like, it made me think of something personal. But then I realized as I read them, I know, you know, obviously I know her, so it's like I know her situation, and so I knew it was about this specific situation rather than what I kind of personally. That's what I like about it. So when you listen to it, you're going to think one thing.
You can internalize it.
I promise you, whatever you're hearing, the situation is not what you're hearing.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because like I did the same thing. I was just like, oh, this isn't about me. Like, you know, like
no, that's awesome. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We had fun, and so you know, she's artistic and she's a writer. I don't write. You know what I mean? I just like writing music. So, and it was
All right.
just, I'm always looking for the opportunity to keep working with people around me. I don't really, I do have opportunities to work with bigger artists pretty often, and to link up and to network and all that stuff. But I'm just, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way to go do it. Number one. Number two, I'm having a lot of fun exploring how creative everybody is around me and the people I keep around me.
That's awesome. So let's get into it then.
Yeah.
We're gonna debut "Sleep" off of the Oak City Slums new album coming up. We're also gonna play a couple other tracks and get ready in here because like towards the end of the hour, you're gonna do a little live set for us, correct?
Yeah. I was on IG telling everybody, oh, I got all these new things, and then I messed up on, like, I had a little technical difficulty, and I messed up on all the tracks I was gonna show. So forgive me. I'll probably play them at a show.
So not everything's gonna be new. We got this new track, but
Right.
your set's
Yeah.
gonna be stuff.
Probably old
Hey,
stuff.
but not everybody's heard it, so
Yeah, that's
you
cool.
know. But either way, let's get into it. I'm also play some Juice, maybe some 3AM. I don't know, some other stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into it. Keep it locked here. WKNC 88.1 FM. Local rap lunch. Got Oak City Slums in the building. Let's get into it.